In trading, no matter what strategy you trade, you need to capture some sort of trend in the markets. The easiest way to make consistent money in the markets is to buy a pullback within a trend. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to trade pullbacks the right way, how I personally trade pullbacks, and how you can profit off trading pullbacks in a trend. So let's get started. Before we get into this strategy, I want to talk about why we trade pullbacks. The reason we trade pullbacks is because of the good risk to reward ratio that it provides. Whenever we're looking for pullbacks in a trending market, we're going to be looking for pullbacks into key areas. Key areas being old highs, old lows, previous day highs, previous day lows. We're going to be looking for order block retest. We're going to be looking for opening range candle retest. When we get these pullbacks into these key areas, it is very crucial because we're able to risk off of that key level, making it so that we have a solid risk to reward ratio and we can target those higher time frame external levels. Number two, we can capture a piece of the move. When we're trading pullbacks, we don't need to capture the top and bottom of a move to make money. We just need to capture a small piece of the pie, and this is where pullbacks come in. You can get in on pullback if you missed the original entry, and you can look to ride the trend towards the upside. And last being trading in a trend. Whenever we trade pullbacks, we trade in some sort of trend, being an uptrend where we're making higher highs, higher lows. If we're in a downtrend, consistently making lower highs, lower lows. Once we identify a trend, it's very simple. We can trade within the trend. So we can trade a micro pullback on a macro time frame. So for example, if the higher time frames is bullish, we're going to be capturing a pullback on the lower time frames to target those higher time frame objectives. So now let me go into the whiteboard and show you guys a chart illustration of exactly what this looks like. If you ever seen how the markets move, the markets will rarely move up in a straight line. That's not how the markets move. That's not how the market's designed. What you'll see is the markets always make higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and it'll move up in a trending way, essentially moving like a wave, or it'll have peaks and valleys where price will trend towards the upside. And this gives us opportunities. This gives us pullbacks. This is what we like to see when we're trading in the markets. If price moves up in a straight line, which it sometimes does, it doesn't offer any pullbacks. It's a lot more difficult to trade, but rarely will this happen, right? Majority of the times what we'll get is essentially a trending market. We'll have areas of key levels where we can buy in off pullbacks to target those higher time frame levels. So I have this chart drawn out here, and you can see that we're clearly in an uptrend. We're making higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. You can see that we're clearly in an uptrend in the market, and the best way to trade pullbacks is when price pulls back into key areas. So for example, this is a key pivot high, which was your previous resistance. Now you want to use this level as potential support for continuations back towards the upside. The reason why pullbacks are so powerful is because we can just have our risk right underneath this key level, and our reward can be this high, our reward can be this high, with a risk just very minimal. As you can see right here, this is what's called our risk, and our reward is all the way towards the upside, being those higher time frames and above. And you'll see all we need for our risk is just the key area. This can be an order block, this can be an old high and low, and that's what makes trading pullbacks so powerful, is that all we have to do is identify a trend and capture a pullback with clear defined risk and a clear defined target and above. And you'll see a bunch of the times when we do trade these pullbacks, we're risking a very minimal amount, and our reward will be exponentially larger than our risk. All we need is a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, and we'll be profitable. This is basically the premise of how to trade pullbacks. We're going to be identifying a trend, looking for key areas that we can risk off of. This can be previous day highs, previous day lows. This can be key levels, and we're going to be looking to risk off that key level, and our targets are going to be high of day and above, or if you're trading towards the downside, you're going to be looking for low of day and below. So with this being said, let's go into some of the examples that I have for us today. Before I get into the video, I want to mention that I'm hosting a free webinar next Thursday, July the 29th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't do these webinars too often. They're packed with value. So if you guys do want to join, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the exact blueprint on how to go from being an unprofitable trader to becoming a profitable trader in the shortest amount of time. So if you guys do want to join, the link is going to be in the description below. The first example that I have for us today is on Tesla. I ended up taking this trade last week. This was on August the 13th. 13th and then making $4,500. But the main thing that I always talk about is not how much I make. The main thing here is how much I risk. So in this case, I was end up risking around $1,400. This ended up being a 3.25 risk to reward ratio. And I'll show you guys exactly how I was able to trade this in real time. So you can see right here, I'm on the Tesla chart and I'm going to be marking out key levels. So the key levels that I'm going to have marked out is essentially this wedge pattern that a Tesla is currently forming. I also have essentially this daily gap that we end up forming here as well. If you go into the daily chart, you can clearly see that we have this gap. So we have this gap on the daily time frame, and you can draw this over and go back onto the 1 hour time frame, and you see this wedge pattern that we have drawn out. So we'll be looking for either a break below towards the downside underneath previous day low, or we'll be looking for a break above previous day high for a continuation into this gap level on Tesla. So as we play the tape here coming into the day, you can see we have a super strong push towards the upside. So as you can see, Tesla is now above your previous day's highs. We're tapping into our higher time frame objective, which is our gap level on the daily time frame. So based off the first 15 minutes of price action, we're bullish on Tesla, and now we can go into the lower time frames to look for potential areas of pullbacks. So you can see we've had such a big push towards the upside. We're above our pre-market highs, we're above our previous day highs as well. We tapped into our higher time frame objective. So now if we're going to be looking for areas of pullbacks, where are we going to be looking for? We're going to be looking for down close candles. As you can see in this case, we have a down close candle right here on Tesla. This is around a 50% retracement as well. This would be a very healthy pullback for price to tap into if it wants to gravitate back towards the upside to fill that higher time frame objective, which is the top of your daily gap. So as we play the tape here, you can see price comes all the way back down into your 1 minute order block. You can see the buyers are stepping in right here as well. That's exactly where I went long with a stop just a break below. So you can see in this case, my risk was a break below this 1 minute order block. You can see how tight my risk is. If price closes underneath this order block, I stop out. If I get in, right, and if it works in my favor, that's great. If it breaks below this 1 minute order block, I'm out of my position. So my stop is just a break underneath this 1 minute order block. I'm looking to target high of day and that full daily gap fill and above. And I end up getting tagged in right there. And you can see price ends up having a nice move. I end up taking some profits right here. And then you can see my final target was that 205. We end up taking that 205. I end up leaving trailers for a bigger push towards the upside, but this was a solid trade thesis based off of a 1 minute pullback into our order block, and we had higher time frame objectives. In this case, I was risking a very minimal amount, looking for those higher time frame objectives. So you can see in this case, this is around a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. Risk very minimal amount. I ended up risking around $1,400. In this case, I ended up making over $4,000, which was my reward. The next example I'm going to show you had multiple confluences. It was your previous day high retest in combination with our order block as well. So let's get into the next example. So on my next example here, and this is on Tesla, August the 15th. This was one of the best trading days of the month. This was on Tesla. I ended up making $8,400 on this trade. As I was talking about, it's not the dollar amount. What really matters was how much I was risking. As you can see, I was only risking $900 on this trade setup. I ended up making over $8,000, being a 9.34 risk to reward ratio. Ended up being an absolute crazy week last week. We did over 15R, absolutely insane. One of our better weeks of the year. Both the trades were on Tesla, and I'm showing you guys exactly how I was able to trade this pullback for a move towards the upside. So as you can see, this is a few days later. This was actually 2 days later than our previous example that I just showed, and we marked out this key flip zone. So this is the key flip zone that we had on Tesla. It was still a val level. This is how we use flip zones. These key areas can be used multiple times over and over. So coming into this day, I was looking for a potential reclaim of our key flip zone for continuations higher. The reason being is because the market was bullish as well. We had bullish news last Thursday at 8 a.m. So that's why I was leaning towards the upside with the overall market and Tesla as well. So you can see coming into the market open, we have a very strong push towards the upside. We're now above our previous day's high. So we're now above our previous day's high within the first 5 minutes. So majority of the times it's going to be very difficult to capture price within the first 5 minutes because there's a lot of volatility and you don't know where price is going to go. So you can see price is very bullish within the first 5 minutes. We're already above our previous day highs. So now we're going to be looking for pullbacks to take longs towards the upside. So you can see right here, we're on the 1 minute time frame and you can see we've had a big push towards the upside. Now we're above our previous day highs. What do we also have here as well? We have our 1 minute order block. So we have our 1 minute order block, which also coincides with our previous day high. So this is a very key level if we're going to be looking for price to push towards the upside. And you can see right here, price ends up tapping into our 1 minute order block. We end up having that confirmation candle right here at this 942. This is where I got in with a stop just a break below, and I was looking for higher time frame objectives, which we can go back onto the 1 hour time frame. I was looking for higher time frame objectives being your 214, and I was also looking for 221 and above. So you can see right here, I have this marked out. I can go back onto the lower time frames and I extend this all the way back towards the upside. And you can see as I was playing the tape here, price ended up having a super solid push towards the upside. And you can see every single time, look where price is pulling back into, which is our 1 minute order block. This could be another potential entry that you can look to get in price off of, right? This 1 minute order block. And you can see price gravitates higher, right? Taps into your 1 minute order block and then gravitates higher, straight towards our higher time frame objectives being that 214, and of course we had bigger moves towards the upside as well. But you can see every single time whenever we're in a trending market, you see price is respecting our down close candles, where our break and retest, our order blocks, and that's where we have that super strong push towards the upside on Tesla. This ended up being a super solid trade, buying in off a 1 minute pullback. And as you can see right here, as I mentioned again, look at the risk to reward and exactly where I was risking off of. I was only risking just a break underneath this order block, and look at my reward, right? Very minimal risk to make a very large sum of money. So with that being said, I'm going to show you guys the live session that I had for this trading day, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I was seeing in real time. So let's get into the live session. So here we are on my first example. This is on Tesla, Tuesday, August the 13th. This was my first example that I showed you guys earlier, and this is going to be the live session and exactly what I was looking for coming into this day. As I always mentioned, I take these trades live in front of hundreds of students every single day. Nothing is manipulated, everything is done in real time. So you can see right here, we're on the Tesla chart here. You can see we just tapped into our higher time frame point of interest. There's a lot of relative strength on this name, so I'll be looking for pullbacks to where this 1 minute order block that I laid out, as you can see right here. So yeah, Tesla just touched our really top of your key level, which was that kind of main objective that we're talking about, which is that gap on the daily time frame, which is your 203.80, 203.89. So 203.89, we had a reaction. First step usually gets bought up, so we'll see if we can pull back, basically back towards your 202.56. So you can see right here, I was talking about Tesla, the first pullback usually gets bought up. So the first pullback should be down to this 1 minute order block, and that's exactly where I'm going to be looking to take Tesla back towards the upside. Yeah, I end up taking some 205s on Tesla. The risk is literally just underneath that 1 minute order block, looking for kind of a push back towards high day, kind of with the Qs here as well. So you can see right there, I ended up taking the 205 contracts on Tesla. I talked about the risk being just underneath that 1 minute order block. Targets was going to be high day and that push back towards the upside. Next level on Tesla is 204.88 if it can gravitate there, and then 205.83. So just mentioned I took off a decent amount of my position. Now I'm just leaving trailers towards 205 and potentially that full daily gap fill, which is our main objective on the higher time frames. So you can see right there, Tesla, I just ended up hitting my full objective, which was your daily gap on the higher time frames. Ended up being a super solid trade off that 1 minute order block. We ended up trailing all the way up towards 205.83, which is your higher time frame daily gap. So now let's go into the second Tesla example, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I was looking for. So as you can see, this is our second example. This is on Tesla, August the 15th. This was a few days later. We're looking for basically the similar setup. This is an order block retest above your previous day highs, and you can see there's a lot of relative strength coming into Tesla right off the bat. So we're going to be using this level as a potential retest for continuations towards the upside. Yeah, so for now, Tesla, I'd like to see a bigger push up, come back, use this essentially 1 minute order block in this key level as a potential retest as the Qs are making a new high here. I'd like to see a little bit of a bigger push up so we can look for that basically retest of your 1 minute order block at 934. So you can see right there, I just laid out the full game plan. I was looking for it to push up, come back into your 1 minute order block that formed at 934, which also coincided with your previous day high for a push towards upside with the QQQ. Yeah, keep an eye on Tesla. You could be looking at the 210s or the 212.5s. So I just mentioned we were going to be looking at the 210s and this 212.05s for a push back inside this 1 minute order block. Yeah, I ended up taking some the 210 calls. Stop just to break below that 1 minute order block. So you can see right there, I ended up taking the 210 calls. As I mentioned again, stop is just to break underneath that 1 minute order block. We're looking for continuations towards 210 and above with a very minimal risk amount. We're looking for that push right away towards that upside. You can see I scaled some along the ways, looking to leave trailers towards that higher time frame objective and above. Beautiful trade towards the upside. I ended up smashing all 4 profit targets. As I mentioned, every trade was taken live with the Discord community. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, I appreciate if you guys drop me a like and sub, and I'll see you guys next week for a brand new video. Peace.